Here we need to discuss few things here. So there are three topics here. One is HDX streaming. Second is session reliability. And third is secure XenApp. How to secure XenApp for external users. So there are three topics here. Now, all the three topics, you might not get a chance to configure them or work on them because basically these all three things, so basically these two things might already be configured or they will be configured with advanced architects. Now, but you should have knowledge for these because this is part of this training. Session reliability, these are not difficult topics. First one, HDX. HDX is all about this. So here you have a user. Here you have a user, let's say, and here you have your Citrix environment. So I'm not creating all the components, I'm just creating XenApp server. So this is your XenApp server, this is your ZDC, and it has an application called Word. So there is an application called Word. And then user opens a direct session between this, and this session we all know is ICA in 1944, and we all know that it went through first web interface, then XML broker, then XenApp server, authentication, licensing, DS check, everything, and it has started the session. Now, as soon as this Word is open, what happens is, guys, this Word we all need to remember, this is installed and configured on this server. It doesn't exist on user side. So what it does, what you see here is a bubble, a copy, a prototype of this application opened here. So this is now Word is open. Now what happens is that as soon as you start typing anything in this screen, these keystrokes, so for example, if somebody typed A, this keystroke will be sent to server, and server here, this XenApp server, will receive this A as a code, and then will put it into the buffer, into the RAM of XenApp server, and from here, it is then broadcast to the user. Now, remember this. So this is your user's laptop, right? And this is the keyboard. And on keyboard, user pressed A. Guys, this A, unlike how we use application, it's not handled. So let's say this is a second user, and user has Word in his own computer. In this case, whenever user presses A, directly it goes to the his computer's memory, and from here it displays on the monitor. So basically, when the user is using direct Word, everything is happening in this own machine. But guys, Citrix, it's not like this. Citrix, basically, this ICA protocol receive everything what you do on keyboard. It is sent to XenApp server. XenApp server puts it into the memory and then broadcast this here, and then you can see A in this. Then you see it. So this is how this streaming, this is not called streaming, but this is how the session is working. Session is all here. Now, guys, in this case, if you have a good bandwidth in this network, then it works fine. There won't be any lagging. There won't be any lagging. Now, nowadays, we all use internet TV, right? So some people have Jadoo at their home. Some people have Bold or other TV technologies. Or you also see YouTube video streaming as well. Guys, when we watch at YouTube, so you're sitting here at home and you're on YouTube, or so what's happening is that their application is completely downloaded in your machine. So this is like streamed application. They are streamed. You're not using server resources. In YouTube, your resources are being used. But guys, in this case, when the application is hosted, server's resources are used. And sometimes if this bandwidth, if this network is not enough, then there will be many lagging here. Now, what is the lagging? Lagging is that you press A, and you will see A, let's say, in maybe 1,000 milliseconds. It will be A, and then B, and then C. So it will be slow network. Delayed. It will be a delayed network. Yes, you can see it's a delayed network. Now, in most of the cases, ICA will work on even slowest network. This is the main quality of ICA. But this is for just simple text editors, some simple application, maybe WinZip, maybe Skype, maybe a smaller application. But what about high definition application or more, let's say, more video intensive application? So video intensive.
Skype.
Video intensive application. like Photoshop. People who are drawing, who are making architects, making huge big architectural diagrams, or working with video graphics where they use create games and all that. In that, this bandwidth is not enough. So in order to give them better bandwidth, Citrix provides something called Citrix HDX. What is Citrix HDX? HDX stands for High Definition Experience. So high definition. So it will be exactly the same configuration. Everything will be the same, but more bandwidth will be given to some of the clients. Not all of the clients, to some of the clients. And this will all be done through policies. Now, if you see those policies, now, first of all, HDX stands for High Definition Experience. And what is it used for? It is to improve user experience and user responsiveness, so that users don't see any delays there. Now, even on YouTube, sometimes when your network is so busy, and people start using network, it will start saying frame by frame. It shows you frame by frame. So in order to control that in Citrix, Citrix has these different policies inside. You can implement these policies. But this is required only in places where you have high definition graphics or high, where you're using video intensive application. Train. It passes like ghost train. There is a ghost train. There is a ghost train. Okay, here. Ghost.
Sir, down train.
अगर मर जाए तो. It's a ghost train. Okay. Straight up. Okay. Here, guys. Hey guys, so there are a few settings here. Number one, we can control through policies, we can control network latency. Now, network latency is a setting that if there is any delays in the network, you can use this policy in Citrix. Secondly, you can also control bandwidth availability. You can assign more bandwidth to some connections. For example, there are many users in your network, so this is a user, this is a user. But these users use normal applications, and this user use a video-intensive application. So what we can do, we can create a policy, we can create a special policy here, and in that policy we would say, okay, bandwidth limitations for this guy is, let's say, 2 or 1 GB, or it's 1 GB. So basically, and then attach this policy to this user. And once it is attached to this user, as soon as user opens that particular application, it would be given bigger bandwidth pipe as compared to others. Yes.
What kind of video application they are using?
It's a video graphics application. So before version 5, so here was version. So there is Citrix version 5, 6, 6.5, and now 7.6. Here, in version 5, it was the video-intensive applications were not allowed in Citrix. In previous versions, it was, but now even video-intensive applications. So what is a video-intensive application? For example, Faz owns a studio where they make games. Now, if you make games, Faz, are you making games? It's fine. It's good. It's a good business, billion-dollar business. Okay, here. If you are making games, and you open their application, guys, not only you would require the server memory, you require more video memory as well. So those are video intensive applications.
Video accelerator cards would have to be installed in the ZDC.
Exactly. Then you have to have those. Now, for all of us, for rest of us who are completely new to this technology, guys, we all know that server has 4 important resources. What are the 4 important resources?
CPU.
There is CPU, RAM, and disk, and network card, right? Network card. Guys, RAM also is provided in another manner as well. So this RAM is basically for this complete server. But in some servers where they use video-intensive applications, the video card, the VGA card, it has its own RAM inside. So VGA, this is your video card. So this is your video card, and video card has RAM inside. This is known as GP. This has a GPU inside. So normally your server has a CPU, which is a central processing unit, whereas this is a graphical processing unit. Now, your video card. So what is a video card? Video card is available on all machines. So guys, if you have clients, and so first of all, those companies, those all companies where they need video intensive application, they won't move it in, they won't even host in Citrix. So those video intensive application, instead of hosting them on Citrix, they would provide them powerful computers so that they can work on their own. But if in case you have to publish that video intensive application here, then Citrix provides us with HDX policies. We can use video GPUs, we can use GPUs, graphical processing unit, or video memory instead of server memory, and we can work with these. Now, so do we understand what are we talking about HDX? HDX as being a Citrix admin, guys, my focus is all on end users. Now, as being a Citrix admin, I have my infrastructure ready. I have my web interface ready, Citrix XenApp ready, ZDC is ready, Zone is okay, worker groups are okay, and everything is fine. Everything is working. But now I have to make these people happy. How can you make these people happy? Some users are normal users, other users are high definition graphics users. But as soon as, if you don't apply HDX in that network, then guys, these users will be happy users. They are your happy customers. But then these people might be seeing many delays in the same bandwidth. So for them, you need to provide them some special bandwidth or some special settings.
So for HDX, the number one requirement is to have a high-speed bandwidth line.
Yes, if you have such applications, that must be published. So this is a high intent. Let's say this is your just FileZilla application. You published it. It's fine. Everybody's using. This is your high intensive application, and now you published it. If you publish this, so it is. I mean, not necessarily that it might not work, but it might not work. It might not work because it's a high video intensive application.
It will be like, how will it be? How will it be like choppy, or like how will the on a low connection with the application look?
It will be very slow. It will be very slow. So we need to provide this. Just give me a minute.
Like, again, it's going to take 5 years, 6 years. By 5 years, समझे ना सुना या आपने एग्जाम दिया 6.5 एडमिट का.
Okay, guys. So here, so HDX policies are used when you have video intensive applications. And what are the policies now? So if we log into our console, guys, let's look at the console here. So in this, first of all, for video, special high intensity video applications, what you can do is you can go to computer and edit. Let's create a new policy. Let's call this policy. Let's create a new policy under computer.
The one which we are making a user. We didn't make it in user.
Huh? Sorry?
After the break, you are making a policy in user.
It's user. Sorry? Yes, it should be user. So go into user. Did we create a policy in users? Oh yes, it should be users. Okay, so Citrix HDX.
It has to be in the users, not on the computer.
No, it has to be users.
If they are using a bandwidth,
So it will be based on users. Let's see what are the settings. It might be in computer, but in computer it will be definitely less settings as compared to users.
That user is using another computer.
Then it would be given the bandwidth. It would be given the proper bandwidth, so it wouldn't matter that whichever machine it is. This is why we're using Citrix, right? But as long as the user has bandwidth, it should work. So let's see. So new, and here we can say this is Citrix HDX, and then next. Now to start with, let me see if I have anything related to HDX. So I have, in HDX, I have HDX media streaming, multimedia acceleration bandwidth. I have HDX media stream, multimedia acceleration bandwidth limit percentage. So first of all, let's look at this one. So again, keep that in mind. You're trying to give some user more bandwidth as compared to others.
What would you really choose from on this side?
Huh? So on this side, it is under ICA bandwidth. So it's right here, ICA, and you go under bandwidth, you should see it. It is ICA, and right under that, you go into media streaming. I think no, not this one. It is bandwidth. It's under bandwidth. Why don't I see bandwidth here? So
You are on bandwidth.
it's under bandwidth. Okay, it's under bandwidth. So it's right here, HDX. Now let's see what is in this. So if you go in this, here it says, specifies maximum allowed limit in kilobytes per second, deliver streaming audio video users using media streaming multimedia acceleration. Now in this case, you can allow a value in terms of kilobytes. How much bandwidth do you want to give to a user? For example, if I say 1000, if I say 1000, this will be 1 MB. This is 1 MB. So 1 MB, this is 1 MB. But if I go with...
So 1 MB is equal to 1024.
Yes, so 1 MB. This is 1 MB. Here I want to give 1 gig. How much would be 1 gig? 10240000. So this is 1 gig. So now I'm setting up 1 gig limit for this policy.
So 102400.
Yes, 102400. And secondly, here, this is the second one, acceleration bandwidth limit percentage. How much do you want to limit it? So here, specify the maximum allowed limit for percentage delivered streaming video.
Maximum allowed bandwidth.
Yeah, this is maximum allowed bandwidth. You can say that it is equal to 2 GB. So you start from limit is 1 GB, you can. But for now, let's use only one policy here. Just one policy. And then guys, with policy, we must remember that just like in GPOs, you create a GPO, assign settings, and then link it. Remember GPOs? In this, here, you create a policy, set settings. So we are setting up, and third is filter it. You must filter it. So here, once you do this, then you go to next here, and within this now, who do you want to apply it to? So it can be applied to users, it can be applied to worker groups. Next, just next. And then in users, let's go to a user and add our user administrator, or you can say it's a group as well. So now it is applied to this user, press OK, next, done. You created a policy for administrator. Wherever now administrator logs in, he would be given more bandwidth. He is given more bandwidth.
The user or group को
Yes. So always browse. Whenever you do, always browse. Yes, browse. Sorry? Administrator. Kenneth Nash administrator. Yeah. Okay. So guys, so this is HDX, guys. Now with HDX, we need to remember. So there are two things to remember. One is that this is for better user experience. Number one, as long as you can understand this, that the user opens the session, users open a session, and session is giving a normal bandwidth. For high video intensive application, it will be very, very slow. For some users, you want to give them more bandwidth, for especially HDX bandwidth. Now HDX meaning it will mix up video memory plus it would use both GPUs. It would use the GPU and it will also use the CPU. So both of them. Now in this case, so this is HDX, guys. Now other than this, there is some other policies, loosey compression threshold limit. Now loosey compression is.
Yeah, we just gave it 1 gig of.
Yes, exactly.
So it's a starting. We can go more than that. Or just
Yes, this is a starting, and since we did not set up any limits, it can go up whatever memory it needs. So, but this user will definitely get 1 GB of bandwidth to start with, as compared to other users will get slices of the same memory.
1 GB is minimum.
No, we set it up. Minimum can be 100 KB.
From 1 GB,
It could be any.
to 2 GB.
Remember the number that we set? That's the minimum number. Done?
So on ICA connection, like the direct connection with the XenApp server, the user is getting the sources or applications
Exactly.
from the XenApp. So he like 1 GB is getting definitely.
Exactly. As soon as user starts any application, it would get this 1 GB. Okay? And as we can see, it can be assigned to machines, it can be assigned to worker groups, it can be assigned to IP addresses or anything. Right?
We just
So
set up the policy, but we didn't attach it yet.
no, we did in filter. Remember when you did filter, you attach it to your administrator, so in policies, just these 3 things to remember. Whenever you work with policies, so you create a policy. Number 1, create a policy. Number 2, assign settings. So same rule applies. Assign settings. And number 3, filter it. In filter, basically what you're doing is you're assigning it to some user, some server somewhere.
So in filter, you are assigning it to a user.
Policy can be done through Active Directory or not?
Policies are done through policies. Yes, same policy can be done through Active Directory.
There's no difference.
No difference. So Citrix policies are exactly the same. It's just that from where you're applying them, GPM or from Citrix.
GPM and Active Directory are the same.
Same thing.
But in Citrix policies, it's just for the specific form, right?
Yes, Citrix policies are in specific form, but also remember the Citrix policies are saved in a data store. They're not saved in Active Directory. Now guys, there are some special HDX policies extra. There are some extra HDX policies that are available from Citrix website, and the KB article is this, CXT 13446. If some company needs even more detailed HDX policies, then they can download this KB, install on XenApp server. So let's see this. So here, I'm going to go to here in Google, and I'm going to look for CTX 13446. So CTX 13446, and I'm going to say this is Citrix HDX. Okay.
So some gap between CTX
Instead of CTX.
What?
So 5 Citrix instead of CTX.
Citrix 1344. Okay. Yes, multiple Citrix products, session reliability. No, this is it's not finding this. So knowledge base. We're gonna say knowledge base and Citrix knowledge base. Maybe this is the older version mentioned in the book. Maybe there might be a newer version for this policy. So here it is, troubleshooting virtual desktop agents. So actually these KB articles are named in this manner, CTX and the number. CTX and the number. So here I'm going to say, instead of number, I'm just going to look for HDX policy, HDX. So HDX, Citrix tested hardware, how to deploy Citrix HDX media streaming from Flash.
So if you write down HDX media streaming, then
Okay. HDX just?
Yes.
media streaming.
So HDX technology, Citrix.com products, optimize the feature application.
Yes.
Just for its guide.
So this one, yes. How to optimize HDX media streaming server rendered. Now these are different articles. So this is CTX 124516. This is CTX 1241. So these number doesn't matter, but guys, these are different HDX policies here. Now in this, all you need to do, you can follow these articles whenever required, if more details are required. But at this level, guys, the only thing to understand, if users are complaining for slow response on video streaming, then there are special policies in which you can assign special bandwidth. So this is for interviews, remember this. Yes, Citrix does provide special bandwidth, special policies for users who need more bandwidth, more video streaming. Guys, the second thing here is, that is known as session reliability. Now, session reliability, just the name as session reliability, and session reliability is this. For session reliability, guys, Citrix provides some special policies. Now, by default, session reliability is on, but we need to remember what is session reliability. So this is so I requested an application from Citrix, goes to web interface, goes to everywhere, and now I have a ICA connection. So this is the ICA connection. Now ICA connection is working between this computer. Let's say they're all both on the same computer. Can you connect to your computer? So I'm going to transfer virus. There is virus, right? It's right. So, okay, it won't work. Okay, here, yes, guys, right. This is known as ICA connection. Now, ICA, what Citrix does automatically, if there is some network disturbance, and this network is disturbed for a few seconds or few minutes, what happens is Citrix will try to retain that session for 180 seconds. For 180 seconds, not minutes, 180 seconds. Now that 180 seconds, if the network comes back, it would resume the session. Now this policy is more effective for computers, the users who are using wireless connections. So here, keep session alive when the network connection is interrupted for any reason, and then great feature for the user who are using wireless technologies. So especially for people who are connected with wireless, maybe they have some network interruption, session won't terminate. It will be alive for the next 180 minutes, 180 seconds here. Now in this session, in that case, the question is, can users still do anything with them? No, user cannot do anything. Why? Because user is having the same session, but it is broken. So what user can see is this. The session will freeze.
So this is for hosted application, not for stream application. Stream has own thing.
Yes, streaming application will work fine. This is for hosted application. So here session will freeze and the cursor to be changed. User will see a spinning hourglass. So it will be an hourglass cursor. Now why is there a hourglass there? Guys, it will show you an hourglass, and there is a reason for this. Why it freezes? Guys, in this case, what happens is, now this is a very important point to understand. And the important point to understand is this. So a user connects to Citrix server, XenApp server, and here user is connected to a Word application. So user opens that session here, And let's say this Word application is open and user is keep on typing and doing everything. Now guys, as a Citrix admin, as who admin? Citrix admin, we must understand that as a Citrix admin, the application is running here. It's not running on user's machine. And every click that you're doing here is being sent to Citrix server. It goes to Citrix memory here. And from the memory, it is sent to the XenApp hosted application. And this is how it is given back to user screen. So user is seeing all these alphabets after having this round trip, right? Now, if let's say session is frozen for a few seconds, if the session is frozen and network is interrupted, so meaning that application, you can still see the application, and if Citrix doesn't display this hourglass, so hourglass is something like, hourglass is this, so it will keep on spinning. If it doesn't do that, then what happens? Guys, in this case, maybe frustrated users like us, I mean, not frustrated, impatient. So we keep on pressing yes, next, and keep on, and we try to regain our connection. So what we do is, as soon as you do this, then this buffer can fill up easily with lots of garbage. So if this hourglass is not there, then you keep on typing here, and you're typing, and this is keep on going here, and maybe it's stuck here, and some of the data is lost, and some of the data is sent across. And the network is keep on interrupted. So network is connecting, disconnecting, getting connected. So what Citrix does, it will keep the session running, but what it would do, it would completely freeze that application. Instead of completely disconnecting it, it will freeze the application, and user cannot do anything unless session is resumed. Now, this is exactly what happens now. So if I go to my Citrix application, this is my Citrix server, and here I have Notepad++ open. So all you need to do is, for now, I can type everything and going on. And then as soon as you disconnect the network card, so you disconnected, now at this point, Citrix is disconnected and you can do, okay, I can't do anything. Why? Because this one is a streaming application. But if this would have not been a streaming application, you can't do anything. So guys, this is where session reliability comes in. For interview purposes, we must remember that session reliability is automatically on, number one. Number two, session reliability during a session fails. For example, now we open this calculator application. As soon as you open calculator application and you disconnect, so here you disconnect, here you would see this application, but it won't work. It won't work, and in few minutes it will be gone. So if it doesn't work, now as soon as you connect again, your network is again connected, it will automatically let you resume the same session. Yes.
So if you're in the middle of a report or something,
It will freeze.
It will freeze. So once the session comes back alive again, so you will start from where you left off, right? You will not close.
By default. By default, yes. You will start from wherever you left off.
So it may be the case when the connection is reconnected within 3 minutes. If after 3 minutes the session will be gone.
Yes, after 3 minutes will be gone. But with policies, you can increase this time limit. Instead of 180, you can give more time limit. But in large networks, guys, this will be a huge headache. This will be a huge headache. You'll be having many lingering connections, lingering sessions that are just there but doing nothing. So guys, this is session reliability. Now, what are the interview questions? Interview question is, session reliability, do you have to make it enabled? No, by default it is enabled. Secondly, number two is that which port is it? It is 2598. It works on 2598. What is IMA port works on? 2512. 2512 is IMA port. This is 2598 is, it's a session reliability port. It's a session reliability port. Because guys, you need to remember that here it was 1494 ICA port. It is dropped now, so it opens, it keeps that alive on 2598. So it is alive, it's not working, but it's alive, session is alive. Now here it is, now, just one more thing here. If, now this session reliability, it has a special Citrix service. And that, I'll come back to your question. This special service is known as Citrix XTE. If you go to Windows services, there is a special service for this, for session reliability, and that service is known as Citrix XTE. So if you go to services, it is there. Now, if this service fails, if this one service fails, then as soon as there is any network interruption, it will be, user is immediately disconnected. So if this fails, now in order to, how do you fix it if it fails? If it fails, you need to go to this location on Citrix. You need to go to C, Program Files, x86, Citrix, XET, then config. So this folder, and in this folder you need to rename this file to this file, and then start the service. Your question?
Yes, sir. So in this case, on client or on server, this port will be used.
This will be used between the client and the port.
Between the client,
Between server.
server or on client.
Between the server and the client.
So the port is on both ends.
Yes.
Not in between.
Not in between, yes.
So it will be on server side or on client side.
Both. Okay, one more thing.
How come?
Okay, okay.
Speaking and listening on the same port, how come?
So what about, okay, hold on. What about port 80? Port 80, when you use internet, it's one port, right? Or two ports. When somebody is browsing internet, is it two ports or one port? It's one port, and it's a TCP traffic.
And in TCP,
It's doing both things. So for this one, you just need to remember that session reliability is using this port. Now, why I am saying it's between both of them? Because if this is lost, then Citrix, how would Citrix know who is connected to Citrix server? So who is this session alive for? So for now, don't go into that complexity where the port is. All you need to remember, because most of the time you won't be troubleshooting this. But the important thing to remember is it is port 2598 for session reliability. Okay? Yes.
XT, can you repeat service name for this?
Yes, I'm going to repeat this. Question?
Sir, as you said, if the XTE fails, then you can go and then rename the file to the old. So when you restart, it generates a new
file. It just generates a new file. So first of all,
Why is not by default by Citrix?
what? This troubleshooting?
Yes.
This troubleshooting, why is it not default? Why should we default?
I need to change it. That is the problem is occurs every time.
No, because I think the HTTPD gets corrupt, so you rename the file and then
You just rename the file, it will create a new file. I mean, why it's not doing it, why it's not by default? Because it might not be the file, it's just a service that is not running. So
What fix is on?
it's just a service. So guys, let's go to Citrix server and see session reliability. Now for Citrix, let's go to, so let's go to user unfiltered service. Or let's create a new policy.
User policy?
So we're creating a new user policy, and within user policy we'll call it session reliability. Next, and then we'll search for the word session. So in session, I have many things. No, it should be session reliability. So if it is not here, then it might be a computer setting. So it's not here. Let's close this. Go to computer settings, guys. Let's close this. Just go to computer setting, create a new policy. Because some settings are in computer, so here, let's see, it's there. So session, yes, there is session reliability, and session reliability port number is here, and session reliability connection is here. If you go to session, and there is a timeout as well. Let's go to the timeout. So timeout is 180 seconds. If you want, you can increase it, you can decrease it. you can give more seconds for session reliability. Now, the default is keep it default. Keep it default. Best practices, do not change this because this can affect your overall network. So here, this is a session reliability. And here, session reliability connection. Let's go to this first policy. And here, by default, it is allowed. Now, it is here where you can completely prohibit it. So if you select a prohibit setting, it will completely disconnect all users as soon as it goes down. So here, it is called session reliability connection. So in this guys, let's not choose anything. But if you want, we can kind of increase the session timeout. So session timeout to, let's say, 200 settings, just to have some change in this policy. Now, once it is changed to 200 settings, next, in this it is saying, so now guys, we must remember that computer settings are only applied to either OUs or it can be worker groups. So if you need to apply this, this will apply to a XenApp server, and whoever is connected to that one XenApp server or maybe that number of XenApp server in that worker group, it will be applied to all of them.
So just changing the session reliability time
to 200, and here we're just leaving it as default. We're not applying it to anyone, we're not filtering it. So this will change the session reliability for your complete network, complete farm to 200. It created. So, and guys, now let's go to services. Let's go to services and find the Citrix Citrix XTE service. Let's find, so go to Windows and go to administrative tools and go to services. And within services, we go down here. We go down here. And this is, here it is. So it is Citrix XTE server. Citrix XTE server. And it's running. And if you stop it, and guys, as you can see, this service is set to manual. What is the meaning of manual? When you restart, it won't turn on. When you restart, it won't turn on. But why is it starting then? Because we didn't start it. Some other services started it. Some other services that start, it starts this service. But it is set to manual.
What's the recommendation?
We'll leave it as is. Guys, if this service goes down at any point, if this service, so let's say this service is down. Guys, everybody stop the service. So stop the service, everyone. Do you find the service? Okay, let's stop the service. So once it is stopped, all you need to do, you need to start it. So start the service. And let's say, let's crash the service. So crashing it meaning stop it, stop the service. And let's go to this location. Let's go to this location, C, program files, x86, Citrix, XTE, conf. So let's go to this location, guys. So leave it stopped. Leave it stopped.
XT server.
On the XenApp server, on the same server. This XTE server. Yes. So it is stopped. This service. So it's called XTE server. Yes. So you should find Citrix XTE server.
There's no file.
Okay, so let's go to this location, go to C drive, go to program files, and go to Citrix, and go to ICA, XTE. So go to XTE, and within it go to conf. And within conf, there is a file called HTTPD. Now, guys, let's not delete the file because that would be aggressive. Let's rename this file. Let's rename this file to, let's say, -old. What I want to see is when you start the service, should it create a new file or not? So we're just renaming the file. We're just renaming the file. Where are you, sir?
No. Beyond the location.
Okay. So we rename the file and restart the service and see that if that file is created again. Huh?
There's a recommend start the Citrix XT services on local area.
So let's see.
CD old.
That's all.
CNX will be there or
Sorry?
where it is HTTPD, CONF.
Yes.
And then we have the.
So we just renamed it.
That's right, and then try again.
I don't want to delete it. Maybe you cannot recreate it. So guys, rename it to rename it back to the original name. Maybe it's since it is not properly crashed. Maybe that's why it's not creating. But we'll rename it back, and then we'll start the service. Huh? Yours is created. So it could be a difference of situation. You're going to you're going to Pakistan, right? So maybe it knows. Now, guys, so why we did these steps? We did these steps so that at least we can try to remember that sometimes we have to fix some few things like that. So this is XTX, XTE. So the important thing to remember is that XTE service is responsible for session reliability. And session reliability, default timeout is 187 seconds. What is session reliability? It is when you have network interruption. It would keep the session alive so that user does not have to be recreated. क्यों किस खुशी में अभी तो पूरा एक टॉपिक पड़ा why no I have to complete this stuff okay guys here
घड़ी आप मतलब निकाल
it worth a try. Okay guys, so next one is guys securing XenApp servers. So how do you secure a XenApp server? So guys, today we're doing this. I'm gonna quickly review what we covered today before I start this. Okay. So today we started with a review of policies, load evaluators, and load balancing. And we have been doing policies, load evaluator, load balancing for last 2 lectures. And now we did it today. Guys, here I want you to make notes and try to understand these. And I think it is worth it that if you watch some YouTube videos on this as well. If you watch some other videos and make some, it is a good time to gather as much knowledge as possible. Because it is the time for now, your basics are excellent. Now all you need to do is just to listen to some more videos, make some more notes on this, and this will remain in your memory for longer time. So we did policies, load evaluators, and load balancing. Right after that, we started with HDX. HDX is for better user experience, especially for video-intensive applications. And Citrix provides special policies for those. Not necessarily, not what? Necessarily. Not necessarily, guys. Not necessarily. These policies you might use, you might not use. But you must know that there are Citrix now provides special policies, special bandwidth management to different users if required. Now then we talked about session reliability. There are some more policies here. This is for temporary network disconnection. Now this is all about securing a XenApp server. Now this is basically here, XenApp provides you 4 features here. We can use secure ICA protocol. What is secure ICA protocol? It will secure the user who are connected to XenApp server. So for now, this traffic is not encrypted. This is not encrypted traffic. If you need to encrypt these traffic, when user opens the ICA channel, it will completely encrypt that channel. So how would it encrypt the channel? For example, user opens the Word application, and this will be all encrypted. Guys, one word to remember about encryption. Whenever you need encryption, it must be certificates. You must have certificate in your environment, because it is only the certificate that encrypts the traffic. What is the main purpose of certificates? Certificates. Certificate, one word is
Encryption.
encryption. Remember? Encryption. And encryption of what? Encryption of communication between two devices. It is always encryption between two devices. And how does it encrypt? What is special there that encrypts there? Always certificates. Remember that you have public and private certificate, but basically you have to have a certificate here and same certificate here. As soon as it is checked, this all traffic will be encrypted. And same thing what secure ICA is doing. Guys, secure ICA is the lowest form of security that you can provide. I mean, lowest form of encryption. It is the lowest one. In many companies, this is not even used. This is a basic encryption if you want to provide to your customer. Now, how do you do this? You have to do it per application basis. So, how do you do it? You need to go to Word application, right-click on Word application. You would go to Word properties, and within Word properties, there is something called client settings. Within client settings, you would see encryption. Let's see this. So here, let's go to XenApp server, and right here, you go to any application. So I go to any application, and then right here, I'll go to application properties. And within application properties under advanced, there is client options. And within client option, it says here, connection encryption. So when you do a connection encryption, you can say by default, it is not enabled. Because as soon as you enable these types of encryptions, guys, as soon as you enable these type of encryptions, it will be load on. It will be load on the bandwidth. It will be heavy traffic. Now, in this case, if you enable SSL, now this is for both of them, secure and SSL relay. This is for both of them. So SSL relay, if you need to switch it on, it is ICA secure, ICA channel, and here it's saying there is no minimum requirement for this option. The setting is on the client device and can override this option. Now here, what type of encryption do you want to give? You can give basic encryption. You can give 128-bit encryption. You can give 40-bit encryption, 50-bit, 56-bit encryption, 128-bit encryption. So here, now basic encryption. About basic encryption, it is said, it's not even encryption. It's not even encryption. It is just a basic traffic, just a little more secure. If you really want to secure it, you need to use one of these encryptions. Now, it is said about these encryptions that if you use these encryptions, first of all, whenever you use these encryption, you must use certificates. So anything above basic is you must need certificates in that environment. Now here, so this is where SSL, but then you need to remember side effects are that then you're gonna be having heavy load on your bandwidth. Now the next big question is that where can you use it? Where can you use it? Guys, mostly you don't use them in the local network. You use them on your external users. So when external users are connecting, they are coming from internet. You want to secure this traffic. So internet, they go here. From here, they connect to a access server. From access server, they connect to a web server. From web server, they are connected inside your network.
So no threat for inside people.
No, it can be done, but mostly it is used for external users.
Inside, no need to inside.
You don't need to do inside for the inside of the network because you already have firewalls there. It is already encrypted over inside the network. So this is one. So both of them are very basic type of encryptions here. Now the next one, secure gateway and access gateway. Secure gateway and access gateway. Guys, both are exactly the same thing. Both are exactly the same thing. Then Abid's question is, what is Abid's question? Abid, what is your question?
On which?
Yes. What is the difference between the two? Abid, you created a question. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. He has a question. I know he always has. So guys, here, what is the big difference? I'm saying both are exactly the same. What is the difference? Secure gateway, access gateway. Guys, the difference is that secure gateway is a software level access gateway, whereas access gateway is a special hardware device. So companies would use special hardware device or they can use a secure gateway. Now, secure gateway, guys, in both of these cases, these both will be sitting in your DMZ. This is your DMZ. So basically, this secure gateway, if it receives all connections from here, your firewall is filtering them, and then it will make sure that this channel is all encrypted. Now, secure gateway is free product. Access gateway your company needs to buy. This is a hardware product. So if your company is large company, they will definitely will be using access gateway. If it's a small company, they can use secure gateway, but in smaller company, they won't even care about this.
Citrix for other products. Access gateway. Not for Citrix.
No, this one is specially for Citrix. This one is specially for Citrix. But NetScaler,
we use multiple devices of software for external user. Can you combine for
yes, why not?
Citrix,
Why not?
Other things?
Yes. So
For
just
local
like that,
internet.
yes. Later on, you'll be looking at SMTP gateways. SMTP, guys, SMTP gateway just like access gateway. So access gateway is a Citrix product. SMTP gateway is an exchange product. One thumb rule we need to remember: whenever you use the word gateway, it always sits in DMZ near to the internet. It receives traffic, it purifies them, then let them go inside.
So banks are
Secure gateway is a software.
It's the software, access gateway is the hardware. Both doing the same thing.
So only access gateway and NetScaler are doing load balancing, not the secure gateway.
No, secure gateway is not doing. Secure gateway is just for, so this is a software, but it has a very basic encryption. It's a very basic software, companies are not even using it.
Scope, right?
No idea.
Nobody is using secure gateway.
But whose product was this?
It is Citrix product. It is Citrix product. So guys, first of all, I'm going to show you where this is. So hold on. So here, secure gateway and access gateway. Function of both is to receive ICA clients from outside to your gateway. Gateway receives them and make sure the connection is all encrypted. Make sure that these users are legit users of your company. Once they are, then it would let their connection inside your organization. Otherwise, so that is why it is known as access gateway. So secure gateway is a software type. Now, secure gateway is provided free from Citrix. So it is part of Citrix OS. So let's see where it is. All you need to do in order to see secure gateway, guys, you need to mount the Citrix CD. So mount a Citrix CD. It is already mounted in my case. And I'm going to run the Citrix setup. So you run the auto run. As soon as you run auto run here, you can go manual install components. And within this, you go to servers components. Common components. Okay, common components. And here you have secure gateway. Now, once you have secure gateway, it runs a setup. As soon as it runs the setup, guys, you won't be able to complete it because we don't have certificates here. You must have certificates in order to apply this. So here it's saying you need a secure gateway or secure gateway proxy.
What's a proxy?
Proxy is, let's say you have your main secure gateway here and a proxy on your Montreal site. So you have a Montreal site, and that is also connected to internet. So in Montreal site, you can have a proxy, meaning any connection that comes here, it should first go to your main site. So proxy is required whenever you need to divert that connection to your main site for security purposes. That's the main thing. Now, proxy is like, you can think of a huge big company, a huge big organization. Now, huge big organization, guys, you have reception on your main entrance, right? And there are some other entrances as well. So most of the time,
How to main entrance?
no, most of the time, guys, here we are understanding secure gateway and secure gateway proxy. So let's look at this. Let's see. Main entrance is here. Your security staff is sitting here, right? But then you have a second entrance. There is a small reception here. So most of your employees who are having valid ID cards, they would enter from here and enter your network. But guys, when there are new employees or new users connected, that are not your company's user, but maybe partner companies. In that case, what you can do, you can divert them to your main reception. So this is what happens in all organizations as well. That this guy would say, oh, you don't have a valid card, go to that other main reception and create a visitor pass from there. So I'm just giving you one example. So proxy happens like this. Proxy means it would divert it to the main secure gateway instead of replying the user right there.
It's just like a local area like see the problem.
No. Those are different. Those are just internet settings. Those are internet settings, but this is different. This is just saying that I'm not the one responsible. I cannot encrypt your connection. Go to Toronto site and get it encrypted. So here, guys, you click next, and in this case, it's saying it's going to install this here, secure gateway, and next here it's saying which account you're going to use here. So most of the time for this, we use network services account. This is saying that with which account the service will run.
So we just click secure gateway and get the secure gateway proxy?
No, secure gateway. You do secure gateway and then network services, and after that you go next, and here once it is created, it is now installing secure gateway. So it is installed now. So secure gateway is installed now. Now it will ask you to configure secure gateway. So first it is and guys, most of the places you click next, nothing. We didn't change anything.
Which was network services or?
Network services, yes. And next, once this is done, it will ask you, do you want to have a standard or advanced? In advanced, it will ask you more questions. So it's like typical settings or custom settings. So we'll go with standard settings. Once you go with standard settings here, now at this point, it will give you error message and saying you don't have a certificate in your environment. So for this, you have to have either private certificate or a public certificate. Now, yes, it can be done, but it's not necessary. You don't have to do it. Why? Because this is taken care of by your security team in their environment, whatever environment. But we, as a Citrix admin, we need to know this much about the Citrix. For outside, there are access gateways that are being automatically managed. And sometimes you might need to work on them. But what we do, it will be very rare that they want to completely you have to create them. Now, even if you have to create them, even if you have to install and configure them, we will follow step-by-step instructions. You cannot remember how to import certificate and do all that. So guys, in short, securing XenApp, there are 4 different components. One is secure ICA. There is a very basic level of encryption that is just between a user and application. It is not for external user. You want to encrypt some application inside your network, but then it will make the traffic heavy. SSL relay works with secure channel. As you can see, when you go to application, there is a SSL relay. It's just using secure socket layer with this. Now, if you go back to this location here, go back to XenApp server and go back to this application. So go to any application properties. As soon as you go to any application properties here, go to client options. Within client option, if you enable this first one, enable SSL, and with basic encryption. Guys, what it with you, it is using this option. You're using this option if you go with basic. But as soon as you change it to any type of encryption, 128-bit encryption or any, then you'll start using this. And this is where it needs a certificate. So basically, when you use secure ICA, it doesn't need certificate. It does its own basic encryption. But starting from here to here, it does need certificates. So you need to buy a certificate, download that certificate, and work in that environment. And actually, basically, once these are configured, guys, now is the answer for the question that you asked me many weeks back, and that is, where do you use single sign-on? single
Yes.
sign-on. So single sign-on is used in this case if you have secure gateway or access gateway and you have certificates configured in your network. If you have certificates, if you have access secure gateway, then you would use single sign-on. This is why we are not using single sign-on in this network, because we don't have secure gateway or access gateway. In real environments, for interviews, they will be interested in knowing that what do you know about secure gateway or access gateway. So this much information is fine, but I would still say that when we at the end will start making summaries, or even if you're reviewing in the next 1 week about these notes, just watch some additional helping videos about these. Now the last thing that I want to quickly discuss, and that is NetScaler. Guys, NetScaler is a complete device in itself. NetScaler is a complete device in itself. Now here,
it's also provided by Citrix or some third-party vendor.
NetScaler is Citrix. It's Citrix device. It was another company. It was another company, but now it is a Citrix device. So here, I want to show you a diagram here. So this is how secure channel works.
Sorry, and access gateway is Cisco? Access gateway is Cisco?
No. They are all Citrix devices. This is all Citrix. Now, access gateway is a general name for any device that sits in DMZ. So access gateway can be from Cisco, it can be from any other company, or it can be Citrix own. It's a hardware security device. It's a hardware security. Guys, here you see this is how it works. Guys, this is how it works. So here, Citrix access gateway, deploying access gateway. So you have external clients. They connect to Citrix access server. Then you are connected inside XenApp server. Then you're connected inside XenApp server. Now, next diagram here is, so there is internet between them. So for internet, again, they connect from here, and then client device connecting to access gateway plugin. It connects to here, which is sitting inside your firewall, and then it is let entry to. So basically, wherever access gateway is given, access gateway is used. I'll copy the thing.
Sir, if internal users want to go outside the world to Citrix user, to use same thing?
What internal user try to go outside?
Internet, then?
No, it's different. It's different. If internal user is going outside,
Citrix session, and you want to access internet, so it has to be through internet to outside.
So then it will be internet proxies that will be used. It will be internet proxies because they're going outside through internet proxies. It has nothing to do with access gateway for them.
Sir, is it the same access gateway would be in the RDS?
Yes, same thing. RDS also uses access gateway, same function, encrypts the traffic, and then provides security for your environment. Guys, here you have Citrix configuration like this, or in more tighter security environment, you can double hop. It is called double hop DMZ. So in which the user goes to one access server, then it goes to a proxy, access gateway proxy, and then it let entry to inside your environment. So the difference between this and this, here you had only one access gateway, but for more tighter security, you can also go with this configuration as well, in which you have double access gateways here just for better security, more secure sessions. And this is actually a diagram to show you ports configuration. So guys, did we discuss that what is the port number of XML broker? Port 80. Port 80 is XML broker, remember? Web interfaces, port 80. It is, guys, when access gateway is used, that port 80 will be changed to 443. Because now it is now SSL port, so 443 and port 80 is the same thing. Just 443 is now your main.
HTTPS, like
It is HTTPS. So guys, with this, we have completed Citrix. What we need to do is, guys, review everything. I think before, so I'll try to send you the custom lab to your emails before the next lecture, or I can give it to you in the next lecture. To complete the custom lab, You have exactly 1 week. In 1 week, you must finish the custom lab. But this is what I'm going to tell you. If you do not complete the videos, you won't be able to do the custom lab. So please make sure that complete all videos. For now, there are, I think, 10 videos. There will be more, 2 or 3 videos. 12 videos now.
Are you going to post some more?
I'm gonna post some more printing and load balance.
Review everything over the weekend.
Slide
Next
here.
class you can give us a-
Yes.
we can start.
Okay, that's fine.
There is no
Guys, at the same time, work in groups.
slides.
Sir, for the last 2 classes, videos are going to upload them.
I'll see that if they're working.
No, the
Oh, I already uploaded them. The lab is already uploaded.
but sir, I would be grateful, sir, if you can stop that.
I'll try to find the others.